Today with one of my awesome friends, Gregory West. Thank you
What's good,
so
y'all?
much for coming out today and sharing a little bit about your passion and your music. How's it going?
Thanks for having me. It's good. Can't complain, life's good.
So can you share with us a little bit about your music origin story, maybe like what influenced you to kind of tap into music?
I would say what made me want to get into music was an experience I had. I went to EDC when I was really young. I was like 16, 17 when it was like all ages in LA.
Back in the day.
Yeah,
School.
it was like I said, it was all ages in LA, so do the math. And I saw the concert and I was just like, whatever this is, I want to do it. I've already, I love music, grew up listening to music, but I think it was that experience that, like, when I saw it, I was like, I want to do this. And that's where it started, I'd say. 2009, probably.
Okay. And how would you describe your artistry now? I mean, you go by Gregory West. I know you've probably been through rebranding. We were talking about this off camera earlier. But how would you best describe Gregory West to someone who's never heard that type of music or your albums?
Gregory West is just, I would say, always expect the unexpected, just always throwing curveballs. Whatever I feel like I've already done, I try to do it differently, try to experiment, And
So can you walk me through that creative process?
Yeah.
How do you experiment exactly? Like, what is it that you do? You pull, because I know you have a plethora of music that you work off of. I mean, I've seen you with your DJ sets, your vinyl, some of your old school TV sets. And I'm honestly really intrigued by your creative niche and how you kind of piece together even old music in your work. Can you tell us about that specific part there?
I don't know. At some point, I just caught myself collecting a lot of like old 80s stuff. I don't know. It just caught my attention. I remember just being a kid and seeing it. And then at some point, as I was growing up, I was like, I stopped seeing like ghetto blasters and these old TVs. Like, you would see them on like the sidewalks, these big TVs with the antennas, and you don't even see those anymore really. And then so I was like, I want to bring it back. Also, I love the representing the, the golden era of hip hop, and I feel like it all revolves around that. I have a VHS player, and I collect like these hip hop, Wild Style and Beat Street and all that good stuff. So.
And who's Gregory West?
Gregory West, he's a character from a Twilight Zone episode. And I chose that name just because I've always liked the Twilight Zone. I've always felt like my life was, compared to the Twilight Zone.
How so?
Psychedelics mostly. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
But no, just
I mean, because your whole album itself, it almost literally feels like a trip. I mean, you start your album from Pendulum, right?
Yeah.
Even just the title of the song, it has an evocative feel to it. And then you wrap up your entire album with Maria Sabina, which, if you know a little bit about psychedelics and who Maria Sabina is, she had a big influence in the indigenous community and
Word.
trip out,
Shout out.
psychedelics.
Shout out Maria Sabina.
Now that we're on her name, it's a beautifully titled name of it's a beautifully titled song. Again, very culturally provocative. And is there a deeper meaning though behind that? Like
Always,
a tribute
yes.
to her, maybe a reference to something, or maybe another character? Because I know you said, the whole ADHD part in your own experience.
Yeah.
Is this you healing that portion of you, or your different
Yeah,
ids,
definitely.
basically, your egos?
Yeah, like so the, how I was saying, I always think or you just overdo it. So that whole project was released on her birthday. So I always try to do that with projects. Try to find certain like dates. My first project I ever released was on August 11th, which is the birth of hip hop. So every project, every project I've ever released, like it has a significance to the date, and with the project, try to, just connect it with everything, and somehow it just works out.
Twilight Zone.
Exactly. Somehow it just works out, so I just run with it.
I saw your meme earlier. It's just like connecting all of these dots.
Yeah,
This
it was
is
like
exactly
a
what
crazy.
this feels like.
Yeah, no, and that's what, like, in my head, that's what it is. It might not like make sense to people, but like I said, I wanted to make that video because once I start connecting and like explaining what it is, people be like, oh shit, like it's not just a bunch of random things he's ranting about. It's like all these things are connected and, you know, they all intertwine. And just like the kind of the project I did recently, it's the name of the law of rhythm is from a book called The Kabbalion. And the Kabbalion is just basically talks about the universe and like how everything kind of intertwines and, you know, everything just kind of connects together with everything. So it kind of.
So it talks about the interconnectedness.
The connectedness. Yeah, you know, just with everything in the universe, kind of like laws of the universe. And the law of rhythm is one of the laws of the universe. But, you know, rhythm, I interpret it in my way because, like I said, everything, you know, intertwines with everything. So the rhythm was like, hey, you know, this is what I connect to the most. So I did the whole project, the law of rhythm.
And including that Afro-Caribbean influence in the rhythm, right? The beat of those drums.
Rhythm.
you add in synthesizers to your work too?
Yeah. So that project was the first one I experimented. I'm not a keyboard player, and I'm not a bass player, but I did bass and keyboard on the production on that. Yeah.
And the Laurel Canyon Orchestra, is that you? Is it a collective or
Yeah.
What is the Laurel Canyon Orchestra?
So Laurel Canyon Orchestra is like a pretty much me and the homie Maruchan, Joe. Shout out Joe, Maruchan. And we just got together and he just like, he had some beats. He actually, I know him through an older friend that I played in a ska punk band with, completely unrelated. So
was this T-Bag?
Yeah, so yeah.
Okay,
So
I wanted to talk about T-Bag
since high school,
too,
like
because that's how
ska
I
punk,
heard of you.
Yeah, so like his brother played bass in the band and he was like a little kid and like he was just like always there watching us make music and he would always kind of be like, oh, you know, like, but you know, like a little brother, like, yo, beat it, we're making music or, you know, whatever, smoking. And then so fast forward years later, he would be like, yo, you know, my brother's making music, you gotta check it out. And then one day, you know, I would go over his house a lot and then I pulled up and he was just like, oh, like, go check out, you talk to Joe. And I went in his room and he just started playing beats and I'm like, yo, bro, like what? Like, you know, like I said, he was a little kid. So like now that I see him older and he's making beats, I'm like, bro, where'd this come from? You know, but he was dope. So
it's almost like a full circle moment. Huh?
Exactly. Yeah. Once again, like some Twilight Zone shit. But
so you guys are working on stuff now.
Yeah. So originally he had made beats and I was just like, yo, send me some beats. And then I was like, yo, I make beats too. What if we got together and, you know, I feel like we could both, you know, just feed from one, like, you know, each other. He has his, like, I feel like he's just a master with like sound and like getting, you know, shit tight. And I have, I don't know, just all kinds of ideas about mixing samples from vinyls and synthesizers and throwing scratching in there and just madness, anything.
It's a lot. How do you create a masterpiece using so many layers and so many sounds?
I just sit there, I do it. I'm just like, I'm just gonna jam out and I just get to work and I just, you know, tune in and lock in and I just end up making, you know, tracks, music.
Do you plan to do any live performances with this
album? Yeah, well, just in general, I feel like I've been releasing songs and I'm always like doubting myself, like, yo, I'll get to it. Like, my songs aren't good enough. I'll get to it. And then now I'm like, all right, I've been dropping shit and I like it. I feel like it's hype and, you know, to perform it'd be dope. So I'm trying to get into the habit of doing that. I just recently did a show. Well, not really a show. I did like a open tables, but a lot of like friends came to support out in Shadow Grove. Okay. You know, shout out to the community. Yeah, so so like everybody came and it felt like a show because, you know, I got like, it was open tables, but I put a set together, you know, played some hip hop tracks. And
so I mean, your style of performing now definitely shifted from like your inception with music with Teabag, right?
Yeah.
I mean, ska shows.
Yeah, that's what started it all. Teabag, yeah. So I was playing drums. I met, Bobby and everybody at the high school.
Is you playing drums? Is that where the original, the Phunky Drummer?
Yeah,
comes
well, yeah. So actually, it
What's
wasn't
funky about the drummer?
EDC was what made me want to do like hip hop music. But prior to that, I was like ska punk scene. I was playing drums and stuff. But yeah. So the Phunky Drummer comes from, so I grew up playing drums, and then later on, when I started making beats, I was trying to figure out a name, what to use, and then I was a drummer, and then the Phunky Drummer, I just, love James Brown, and, the hip hop breaks. Anybody knows, James Brown knows how essential he is to hip hop.
Justin might.
Yeah, so the Phunky Drummer, like I said, I'm a drummer, and the Phunky Drummer, the song is
y'all
one
are
of the
nerds.
most.
I'm gonna say y'all are nerds,
Yeah.
and I respect the hip hop nerds. I'm not 100% nerd, but I feel like I can get by at least with the musical talk.
Right.
Is Teabag ever coming back?
Damn, I don't know. I haven't.
The big question. I've been wanting to ask original Teabag members this question since 2011, graduating high school. Those shows.
I mean, every once in a while, like this, it's always just been like that from the beginning. Ever since the beginning, we stopped playing for like 5 years and then just came back out of nowhere. So, I mean, we haven't played in a while, but who's to say?
Is the spark still there?
I don't know. I mean, lately no, but a lot of people always ask, like, yo, when are you guys coming back? I love how every time we do come back, like from years, I'm like, yo, I wonder who's gonna be there because there's a whole new like scene out there. So every time we come back, it's like
we
whole.
grew up, right? We're adults now.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You always
so
wonder.
We were playing these shows when we were like 15, 16. So like we were playing backyard shows and wilding out. So whenever we come back, it's just like I remember when we came back after the 5 years, people were like, yo, there's this new band, and then the older people were like, no, these guys have been around. Like you guys are new.
They missed out.
Yeah. And then we kept playing.
Now, is there anything else you want to add? Maybe any artists that you're working with or look forward to potentially working with?
Oh man, yeah. Actually, shit. A lot of people. I've been working a lot with, Joe Maruchan. We have like, I was doing the math. We have like 80 unreleased songs that are. A lot
just
of them are
in
complete.
your library?
Yeah, just in the vault, and a lot of them, like half of them, like are like ready to go, and then I'm just, I've been focusing on like releasing a lot of music. So, yeah, Joe, I've been working with a lot. The homie Alan, he plays in a lot of like ska bands. He's really good a piano player. He's good at keyboard. Bobby from Teabag, he plays bass.
Is he still active?
Yeah. He still plays in bands. So yeah, he's still.
In the valley.
Yeah, in the valley around LA, and then they just play anywhere there's ska scene. I guess they go play. So like.
Shout out to our hosts here. They were
Shout
sharing that they're potentially going to be doing shows, punk shows.
Oh really?
So keep an eye out.
Let me know. Hell yeah.
Yeah, plugging in our community and doing the Lord's work.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Word up.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.